SportsCenter.com.
Our work is very challenging. We are looking for needles in a nationwide haystack, but we're also called upon to figure out which pieces of hay might someday become needles. That is hard work. If we can find a way to do that better, we will.
Of course, the FBI is under extreme scrutiny since the agency admitted that it dropped its investigation on the Orlando terror murderer who killed 49 people. But now sources are saying that the FBI is actually overwhelmed with terror tips, struggling to identify real terrorist recruits and other dangerous extremists. Plus, Disney apparently warned the FBI about the Orlando terrorists back in April. Joining me to hash it out, Steve Rogers and Bo Dietl. Steve, you've done work, FBI work before. If they had this much trouble already, and now these tips are flooding in, what's going to happen?
Look, the FBI director says he needs help finding the hay. Well, there is a way to find a hay, and Bo had mentioned it earlier. Intelligence and information has to flow down from the FBI to the local cops. Charles, who better than the cop on the beat knows the who, what, when, where, and why of his neighborhood?
You got to just realize, you got a couple of agents coming from Washington to interview this guy in Orlando. They ask him some questions, they leave, he's still there. Why not use the guys, like I said before, who know the neighborhood, who know this guy, who can speak to people that know him? Hey, what's this idiot up to? Oh, he's been talking about shooting a place up. You could get information from the streets. I was a street detective. Steve, it's nice to talk to someone who walked the walk like Steve. Before I was a little interrupted there with someone who never walked the walk. Steve has. And the reality is when you're on the street, you get all the information from people on the street. And just maybe if you had that filtered down to the local people, we would have had that information.
Organization, though, we're in the era of big data, artificial intelligence, algorithms. There's all kinds of things out there that are used by corporations. There are apps out there. When we hear that the FBI is having this much trouble, people say, are you nuts? I mean, there should not in this day and age. You should have a way of figuring this out.
But Charles, you're right. But the fact of the matter is that when you have street cops out on the street walking the beat, face to face.
But before this info can even get to the street cops, how do you rearrange the FBI in a way that it can actually get this information, disseminate certain things really quickly, and then keep it moving along the system, but also stop it from falling off?
Well, it's very simple. Like I said before, that's why Commissioner Kelly started his own intelligence group out of New York to stop terrorist attack, because he was getting not the right information for the FBI. I call out. I like the FBI very much. They're our leaders here, but you've got to get that information to the guys that are on the street. We got hundreds of thousands of law enforcement just sitting there waiting to help. So give them some information.
Do you guys also think the administration, to a certain degree, has hamstrung the FBI?
They have. There's no question. They've hamstrung the FBI and the local cops. And keep in mind, Charles, that the best information is not going to come from the top down. It's going to come from the bottom up. And that's from the people to the local cops to the FBI and further.
And I think, you know what? We called about this after San Bernardino there. We mentioned about this. Still nothing's there. I call out now to the FBI, share your information so we can help you on the street and that the local cops can help, because we want to stop the terrorism.
And of course, both of you guys agree you got to ditch the political correctness. No one should be able to admit that they want to be a martyr, that they admire ISIS, and then claim that they just made it up because they had racist bullies working.
What the American people are witnessing from San Bernardino, Orlando, etc., is the results of political correct policing.
Exactly. And you want to know something? They had this guy, and then they let off him. You got a guy down, you keep him down, and you stay on him.
Let's leave it there, guys. An extraordinary couple of days here. Our prayers to the family that lost their 2-year-old son. Now, here's Lou.